Hello everyone and welcome back to another edition of West Ham Fan TV's Friday Night Pint. Sorry he wasn't here last week. We went out for a little drinky poos. It was a staff outing and there was a staff shortage in the studio, so sorry about that. But we are back this week. Thank you so much for joining us. My name's Nicky Hawkins as usual, and I'm here with two esteemed colleagues of mine, Ryan Archer and Dan Lawless. How are you boys?
Feeling very esteemed.
That's what I said. I was looking for them. I was like, where are they?
No, you good?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good. All good. Ready to, like I said, it feels like, we had a week off and now we're back ready to get into the topics.
Back ready, but the same old shit, I'm afraid.
Same old shit, yeah.
What you been up to anyway in a week? Anything?
I'm just working all week. I've been working all week, traveling a bit, getting around, doing some tutorials, doing some Japanese lessons. Boom, boom, boom.
Japanese lessons?
Yeah, just trying to learn the alphabet. I'm getting back on it, trying to learn as many things as I can.
Why?
Just because I like to learn things. I like to self-improvement. Yeah. I'm all about
I was learning Spanish once, but I give up in the end. I just was getting really confused. It was a really bad.
Funny you should say that because I've started learning a bit of Spanish as well.
Well, you spend enough time in Mexico.
When I was in Mexico, I was thinking about it. I was thinking like sometimes when they say like English España, and as soon as you say English, they start talking España. I think one of these days I'm going to catch these bastards out because I know they're slagging me off. So I'm going to catch them out. I'm going to say English and they're going to start talking Spanish and I'm going to whip it out a little bit of Spanish and start having an argument with them.
Yeah, I just think it'd be nice to speak to people in their native tongue.
Basics. I'm not going to learn fluent Spanish, but just the basics.
Yeah, that's it. Get you along.
All right, mate. Where's the toilet?
Need that a lot. Look, before we start our topic today, because it's going to be, I'm sure, a long and drawn out discussion with everyone in the chat. Our mate Luke Malden, who used to do fan cams for us, I ain't seen him in a while, but he sent me this shoe over. Now, I wanted to get your opinion on these shoes, right?
Funny enough, I see Luke the other day at the game.
Did you? I ain't seen him for a while. Yeah, but he DM'd me about this shoe, and it's from Mallet. There's a company out there, there's a shoe company called Mallet, and I do like a little claret and blue shoe. But tell me what you think about this. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Let's get some comments from the comment section as well. Boom,
boom. That's smart shoes.
I don't think they're cheap, to be honest. I don't think they're cheap, but they're the perfect colours. I love them. Do you know what I'll do with them? I'll customise them. I'll get a little Amazon on the side there. Get someone to do it.
Yeah. Is it so? It's not intentionally West Ham, is it? Is it accidentally West Ham?
I don't know. But he was showing me the shoes because he works for this company, Luke, and he said like give it a retweet. You might like these shoes, but yeah, they will be available on Mallet website if you want to get them. But I reckon we should get some and customise them.
Yeah,
that's what I reckon we should do.
Why not? Support that. I was a big Timmy Mallet fan growing up.
I don't know. It's Tommy Mallet, isn't it?
Tommy Mallet. It's Tommy Mallet from. He was obviously in Towie, but he's a very successful businessman. I think he was like in the top 10 earners for under 30s.
Any relation to Timmy though?
No relation to Timmy Mallet, but he's done really well for himself. And yeah, they are expensive trainers, but they're ones that last. They're comfortable, unless you play football in them, of course.
The thing is, you wouldn't want to go to the football with them. Like, you wouldn't go West Ham with them because someone spills beer on them or steps on them, or you're walking through in the toilets where there's all sorts on the floor. That's not where you want to wear them.
For me, them ones they're a summer trainer. If I got them, I'll put them in away for the summer or the spring at least.
Yeah.
David Grenville says you can get them on Facebook. I'm pretty sure you can't.
No,
you get anything on Facebook.
You might be able to, yeah. I don't know, but
sell all sorts on Facebook, mattresses and everything.
Yeah.
No, I see Luke the other day. He's doing really well for himself. He looks well. Just mad because we were speaking about him, and then we just bumped into him outside the car the other night. I'm not sure on the price, but I know they're. I think they're about. They're well over. No, they're over 150 quid.
They're not cheap. Yeah, they are like proper designer trainers. They're pretty famous now. All the big hitters in Essex are getting them. But I just like the colours, mate. I just like the colours, and I will definitely get them customised. But anyway, people was asking for the price. Where'd you get them from? You get them from Mallet, I think. Mallet website, Mallett, I believe. Darren Clarkson says 210 to 230. What, pounds?
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me, mate. There's someone there that go for like 3.5.
Really?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
People pay it.
They are worth it. But anyway, let's crack on with the subjects. What we got tonight, boys?
Fun and games. Oh, fun and games.
I don't know whether I'm up for this. I might just fuck off.
West Ham. It's been. I tell you, I'm trying to remember how many weeks it's been since we've won a game. Seems like it's been a long time, wasn't it? It was the Bournemouth, wasn't it? That seems like it was a long old time ago now, doesn't it?
Yeah, I wasn't even in the country. I was on the other side of the world.
Where was this?
No, you've come back and
day you got married.
Oh yeah, that was ages ago.
Yeah, and look, you've come back and it's got worse.
Yeah, it's gone to shit since I come back in the country.
Yeah, ever since you got married, it's gone to pot.
When's the last time we won Bournemouth?
Bournemouth at home.
Yeah.
When before that? Wolves.
We had Fulham. Was Fulham after or before Wolves?
Fulham was after, I think.
We've won 4 games, didn't we, all season? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've won 4, and we can add the Carabao Cup on that on the list. Knocked out by flipping Blackburn now. Which how do you guys feel about it? Because look, there's some people are saying, "Oh, we got bigger fish to fry," and that, but it's still a competition we could win. A lot of teams, I see Ryan said it on the reaction. There's, teams that we could have, drawn and beat, and all the big teams went out. So there was an opportunity, but it's just I think we needed that win just to get a win. Regardless, forget everything about the cup. We needed that win just to get that positivity in, to stop that.
It's a distraction, isn't it, from the Premier League, and it gives players that don't play week in, week out a chance to shine. And yeah, look, we went
Blackburn
out. It's unfortunate, but would I take a loss the other night for 3 points tomorrow? 100%. We need to start getting back to winning ways in the Premier League. And I know there's only 1 game left before the World Cup break, but we need 3 points tomorrow. We need a win. We desperately need that win tomorrow. Because, look, do I think they'll sack Moyes if we lose tomorrow? Personally, I don't. I don't think they will. I think the World Cup break's going to save Moyes. But yeah, we need a win. We need a win. And we need the players to turn up as well and put in a performance. Because we can sit here and blame Moyes as much as we want, but the players have got to take some responsibility as well. They're fouling him and he's fouling them at the moment. There just needs to be that something needs to give, and a good performance and a good win tomorrow. And we can go to the World Cup with not a big smile, but a little glimmer of a smile. Merry Christmas.
Of hope, maybe. Yeah. But that's obviously the title of the show is is it time for us to start being worried? Is it time to start worrying about our season? And
I didn't get to do the post-match reaction the other night, and I see, I got to watch the 2 boys, and we all know I'm reactionary, and I'm, I can be a bit of a knob when it comes to, talking about, performances straight after games. But I've had like a couple of days now to sort of digest it. I didn't do a morning after on purpose because I was still fuming, and I come into this tonight and am I still fuming? I'm fucking furious with the performance, to be quite honest with you. I'm furious with it, and I watched the 2 boys there, and I'm jealous of Ryan and Scott because they can keep calm, and I don't think I would have been able to keep my my calm on that night, because it wasn't just the manner of the defense. Look, I'm a West Ham fan, and I've seen us go out to worse teams. I've seen better teams than that go out to worse teams than that, and I'm not deluded and I'm not, what's the word? I'm not expecting much as a West Ham fan, but the manner of the performance the other night, there's bits of it that worried me, and they have worried me all season. And I thought to myself, did we play well in big parts of the game? Yeah, in parts, we dominated the game in terms of passing. But the thing that worries me the most about the performance and has been worrying me the most about performances in the Premier League and now the Cups, not the European Cup, because it seems to be a different kettle of fish there, but it's chance creation. We can't seem to be able to forge chances. And
well,
like when you look at the
stats, you're saying that we had 22 shots, 5 on target. That's the problem now.
Yeah, 5 on target out
Exactly,
of 22.
that's the problem.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like we don't create enough clear-cut chances, and we don't take enough chances. And if you look at the 2 goals, what we scored, one of them was a shit cross that was miscontrolled by the Blackburn defender, and he just spanning it. And the other one, we had to rely on the Blackburn defender clearing it to Antonio. None of them were really created by us. They was created by them, their mistakes. Now you have to put them under pressure. Excuse me. But when you're thinking about 22 shots and the amount of times we got in and around their box, like crosses, what is going on? Like, how many corners did we have?
Yeah, but I said the other
we can't
day
get past the first man.
Well, I said the other day on the reaction, there was a couple of corners that Emerson put in, and there was just no one in the box. Emerson was taking the corners. He was beating the first man, but there was no one there. No one in and around the penalty spot. And
no, I agree with that, mate. But there is obviously there does have to be blame on the players because they're not performing. But I'm just starting to wonder whether these players are just losing faith with him. Why on earth are we going 5 at the back against Blackburn?
Yeah, but people are saying 5 at the back against Blackburn.
It is 5 at the back against Blackburn, right? No, it's not even Blackburn. It's Blackburn's reserves.
Yeah, all right. But when you look at the game, when you actually watch the game back and watch the position in the players, the wing backs were playing further forward. So it was basically 3 at the back with 2 attacking wing backs that were getting forward. That was why Emerson and Johnson were playing there. It looks like, you're setting up 5 at the back. But when you actually watch the game, them 2 fullbacks were further forward.
So you're telling me that he's played Emerson and Soufal as wingers?
He didn't play Soufal, he played Johnson.
Soufal played.
Yeah, I'm sure I saw Soufal on the team sheet because it came off.
Johnson played centre back.
Sorry, not Johnson. Soufal. Sorry, you're right. Yeah, Soufal. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He played them to push them further forward. I mean, look, there's people there saying like, Ryan, stop defending the manager. What would you want me to do then? What do you want me to do? Jump on the game, jump on, and no. I'm just replying to that comment because like I'm getting a bit pissed off with people jumping down my throat because like, listen, I want David Moyes to do well. Of course, everyone wants David Moyes to do well. I'm not defending the manager all the time. When he makes mistakes, I call him out on it. There's been times where he's made dodgy substitutions, but just because I want Moyes to do well, just because I'm not on this Moyes out group that most people seem to be on now. You know what? So I'm a cunt because I like David Moyes. It's bullshit.
No one's calling you a cunt.
No, but I'm just fed up with people like giving me stick on the comments on Twitter. Jumping down my throat because I want Moyes to do well. If Moyes got sacked tomorrow and they brought in Sean Dyche, I'd want Sean Dyche to do well. I wanted Avram Grant to do well. I wanted Pellegrini to do well. I want whoever's in charge to do well. So what? This is what I don't understand. I don't like the fact now that there's this thing going around where if people actually want Moyes to do well, they ain't got a clue about football.
Yeah, but then but it works both ways because you get a lot of people that if they think that Moyes maybe ain't the answer anymore, you get the same people that will come and it's on both sides.
Yeah, I know, and this is it's like any player. If there's a player that I don't like, I still want him to do well. Just because I don't like him or I don't think he's good enough for West Ham, I still want him to do well. But it's just like now, I've seen it so much on Twitter. I've seen people put pictures up of David Moyes saying, I'm backing David Moyes. And straight away, there's 30, 40, 50 comments on there saying, you're not West Ham. We need him out of the club. What's that all about? What is it? Why is it so toxic at the moment? Why is it so toxic? Yes, David Moyes is to blame, but so are the players. But I don't see them jumping down other players, bro. You know, fucking David Moyes didn't miss that penalty the other night. David Moyes didn't create 22 shots and miss fucking most of them. You know, you got to. I'm just fed up with people sort of digging me out all the time because I want to stand there and back David Moyes. So what should I do? Just go on camera and say Moyes out? That's the end of it. Moyes out.
No, because that's not your opinion. If your opinion isn't Moyes out, then your opinion isn't Moyes out.
Don't
worry about. Listen,
mate,
you ain't got to worry about what other people say about your opinion.
If
someone tells you, if someone goes on camera and says blah 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 this and blah 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 that, and 250 people in the comments disagree with you or call you a cunt, like, don't worry about what they say.
It's not even about me, mate. I can take it. It's more the people that I'm seeing that can't.
No, but this is what I'm saying. What you need to do is keep your opinion. Don't fucking sway your opinion because of these people.
Like someone said to me the other day, like when outside the ground, there was like, so why? I said, look, the thing is with David Moyes, like we sat here for so many shows, like not since Moyes been in charge, but before this and before Moyes come back, and all we've ever wanted is stability at this football club. And the last 2 seasons, we've finished top 7, 2 European campaigns, a very successful European campaign last season. Let's have it right. No one even expected us to get out of groups. You know, this season we smashed the Conference League in the group, and we can go on to maybe do well in this and maybe win the tournament. See, I see that as stability. But everyone, like all these people that I see jumping on David Moyes' back, they was all singing Super David Moyes and loving him last season. But it just seems like when there's a little bad spell, and I know it ain't been great in the league, and I know when you look at the form over, but we still done well with a thin squad, no striker, and to do what we done last season was unbelievable. And I think that nowadays, when you go through a little sticky spell, everyone just wants to jump on it straight away. Like no one wants to stick with the team. It's like tomorrow, you know, straight from the first whistle, we should all be behind that team. Be behind that team because they're loving.
I'll be honest with you, right? And let me give a little counter argument here because it's not lately though, is it? No, they had a great run in Europe.
That's what I just said. I just said when you look at the league form over 2022, it hasn't been that great, but we still finished 7th. He needs to come up with. But he's gone out and he's spent the money.
He spent the money, but he needs to come up with the answers. It's not about spending money.
I think the expectations came from we had the thin squad, and it was the understanding. Okay, we're not going to buy in January. We're not going to buy certain players last August because we're trying to find the right players. So everyone looked at it because the thin squad is probably the reason we did fizzle out in the league and we did maybe not go further to get to the final. So we thought, all right, let's get to the summer then. If you're not going to spend, we're not going to bolster the squad now. You want to find the right players, backed by 270 million quid with the due diligence that he supposedly has done on these players. And it's not like we're expected to be amazing straight away, but signs of improvement.
And I think that, and I've said this before, I think some of the signings we've made are more suited for European football. And that's why they've done well in Europe and not so well in the Premier League. They will adapt. Look at Fornals when he first signed for us. Loads of people thought he ain't going to make it in the Premier League. And, you know, but it's a difficult one because, look, as I said, if the board sacked more, if we lost tomorrow and the board sacked David Moyes, then that's the decision the club's made. Whether I agree with it or not, I'll still back the decision and I'll back the new manager and whoever that may be. Whether it's Sean Dyche, Pochettino, Tuchel, fucking Areola, whoever. But I just think that when Moyes is there and the players that wear that shirt, we just got to get behind them a bit more. I find it, like, even before kickoff in some games, I find it so negative over there. And then as soon as there's one misplaced pass, Nick, you know the people that sit behind us. He see Antonio coming on at half time the other day. He couldn't wait for Antonio to make a mistake. So he could jump on. And people
like always been like that at West Ham. Like back, I mean, Sam Allardyce, it was the most toxic you'd ever see it. It was super toxic under Big Sam. And Big Sam, I've said this, you know, people say, oh, Moyes saved us, Moyes did this. People treated Sam like shit. And he was an arrogant bastard and a bit unlikable, like Moyes is personality-wise. I don't vibe with me. But if you want to say, oh, what he took us from the Championship and stabilised us in the Prem. So, but
it's a bit like David Moyes. You know, he come in, I wouldn't say we was in a relegation battle, but we was in a bad place, especially the second time he come in, and he's lifted that club. And then we had that season that unfortunately we couldn't go to when we got Jesse Lingard in, and we had a great season, some great wins. It's unfortunate that we couldn't be there as fans to see it. But then everyone thought that was a one-off. And then the season after, we done it again with European football as well. And look, I know we can't keep living on the past and it's about now, and I understand that. And for me, I'm hoping that he can turn it around. I really do, because I think with what he's done in the last 2 seasons, I think he's just earned that little bit of credit in the bank to just try to turn it around. If we lose tomorrow, they won't sack him. We come back, we've got Arsenal. If we lose that, they won't sack. I think it's the games after that. There's 3 or 4 games after that where I think we play Leeds, Brentford. I can't remember who else it is. Maybe Everton or Newcastle, someone like that. But I think it's them 3 games there, because then you still got the transfer window as well that will be open at that time. And I think maybe they'll look at it then. But
do you know what I think it is, Ryan? Why there's maybe a little bit less patience with Moyes? I think it's the football. I think if the football was more entertaining and more attacking, but we were losing games, and you could see, okay, you know, we're going for games, but you know, our defense.
We're lacking something. We're lacking something. There's obviously something lacking from the training pitch
to watch at all,
because
not just for the results.
We're lacking, you know, a zipping way of passing.
I think we're lacking leadership as well on the pitch.
Yeah, we are. We are lacking something, and the thing is, I don't think that, you know, Moyes is not helping his case. One, that we're not getting results, but he's not helping his case when we're not scoring goals against these lower league teams by going 5 at the back. That's not going to appease the fans. You know what I mean? Is that your answer for not scoring goals, going 5 at the back? And I think that's where he's falling down. I really do. He needs to try something else, try something different, train a different way. You know, change something, because something is lacking. Something is lacking.
I don't think it's the training. I think it's obviously the setting up, isn't it? So yeah, you're right.
I don't know, mate, because I'm watching the way they're passing the ball at the minute, and like even you see Blackburn the other day, they're zipping it around and all this sort of thing. We can't make 5-yard passes, right? We can't. You know what I mean? Without someone stretching for them, and like,
yeah,
you have to look at it.
That they're not bad footballers. That just comes down to nerves. You know, you see it more at home, didn't you, than away? Because when we went to Anfield, Old Trafford, you know, we played better.
We played better, but we wasn't adventurous. He didn't allow the leash to come off till it was too late.
I think it's just when it comes to home games, I think and as I said, I think there's lack of leadership in the team. I'm not saying Rice is a bad captain, but I think Rice has got too much pressure on him. He doesn't need that role of captain off the pitch. Last season he was team captain when Noble weren't there, and he was thriving off of it. I think he's even said in a recent interview it's a lot for him at the moment. So maybe they need to look at that as well. I mean,
I think it's an element for sure. I don't think it's one of the biggest issues, just because we're not falling apart and crumbling on the pitch like we were, like sort of towards the end of Bilic's reign, you know, where you go a goal down and the floodgates would open. It's more about just how we're moving the ball on the pitch, you know, and like Nicky said, that pass, you know, and I mean, our passing has been atrocious this season, really has.
Yeah, I think I said it after the Palace game as well. Sometimes you find 1 or maybe 2 players out of form, but you've got another 9 players on the pitch that can drag you out of things. But at the moment, we're finding 5, 6, maybe 7 players that ain't up to scratch. You know,
but that can't be a coincidence, can it? There's got to be a reason for that.
Yeah, but then, you know, it could be that you could get rid of David Moyes, bring someone else in, and it might not improve. You might say, for instance, like people in the chat are saying about Pochettino. Pochettino come in and didn't win his first 5 games. What would people say? They'll be on his back. They'll be wanting him out. There's no patience.
I think people would give Moyes the blame, really, and go, "Oh, well, Moyes will sign X, Y, and Z players." You know, and that's what happens. Sometimes you go, "Okay, new manager comes in. If they don't get the bounce, then you go, right, well, we give them they haven't had a transfer window. You say they got to have a transfer window." It's a tough one, but we have to start seeing something. I want to just something to hold on to say we're going to be a good football team. I can see the signs.
We need something we just need something to go even if it was a 1-0 win tomorrow and it was the luckiest goal in the world that fell in. We win 1-0 tomorrow. People come out of that ground and they'll be happy. They'll be happy they got the 3 points. And then we get that. Personally, I think the World Cup break's coming at the perfect time for us. I really do. I really think it's coming because I think that the season only started a few weeks ago, but I think we just all need this break now because it hasn't been a great start. But, we're on 14 points. Do I think we're in a relegation battle? No, I think it's too tight at the moment. I think the relegation places won't start, obviously, because of the World Cup. Maybe end of February, that's when it'll start separating between the bottom 4 and maybe the bottom 6 and the rest of the table. But look, you're 2 defeats away from being in the bottom 3 or you're 2 wins away from being in the top 8. It's so tight at the moment. So I don't think we're in a relegation battle, but it's going to be something needs to change. And hopefully tomorrow we get 3 points.
Darren Clarkson, let me just, we're going to take some comments in a minute, but Darren Clarkson says we're not passing and moving, we're static, hence why we keep on playing sideways football. Sometimes, mate, I think that's people going hiding. They're not making themselves available for the runs. People ain't trying, being adventurous enough with the passing.
Yeah, you're bang on there, mate. I do think some players do go hiding.
You see that a lot, don't you? A player gets the ball and they look around and they're like,
"There's no one there."
Yeah.
Like there's a few that do go hiding when it's not going right. They go hiding.
Yeah, lack of movement off the ball. We've got a super chat there from Matt Rainey, 449. Thank you very much, Matt. Really need Moyes and the lads to change things. No ifs, buts, or maybes. We need better performances and results. Lads needs to put more of a shift in my opinion. Yes, because it's right. It's not just the results, but the performances need to come as well. Because
but I agree. Even though I agree with Ryan. Even though that the manager has to take criticism. The manager sets it up and all that. There's no need to be so unprofessional as if the down tools and not play for him, because that's not what we do. You know what I mean? And if you find anyone doing that, I think there's a few
people are saying now, oh my God, Ryan, we are in a relegation battle. You see how tight the table is. So Liverpool 7 points clear. Liverpool involved in that relegation battle.
Yeah, I don't even think like Ryan, I don't even think Nottingham Forest are in a relegation battle because I don't think the relegation battle has started in earnest yet. The real relegate about the time you said it, so towards the end of January, February time, when it starts to separate out and you start to get the
there'll be that period over about 2 or 3 weeks where the teams start pulling away, and then you'll get that bottom 5, 6 that are stuck in that relegation battle, and hopefully we're not in it. I don't think we will be. I think
we'll stop. And this is the thing. Steve Bill, I'll get on. Let's read that.
Steve says, I think there's frustration that most people can see what's wrong with the team selection, setup, etc. But Moyes just cannot see it. Just my opinion, though.
And sometimes that comes down to stubbornness, and sometimes stubbornness will get you the sack. And if Moyes does get the sack, it's his own fault, isn't it?
I agree. Moth says, Frankie from Irons Channel said that last season and the season before wasn't successful seasons. Well, I would argue against that, because it's successful to relative success. We've had some really good European trips, and we was nearly in the final of the Europa League, and we could well be within the final of the Conference League this year if things go our way. So I don't think that's right to say.
Yeah, qualifying for Europe is a success to me. I think it's not. Trophies are the ultimate symbol of success, but for us, like you said, where we are, qualifying for Europe is success. I think for us at this stage, it's
let's take some comments. I started some comments earlier. Keep your comments coming in. Anyone see Moyes comment post Leicester? Comment comparing.
It's a typo.
Clueless. Get him out of our club now. If it means Leicester beating us tomorrow to get him settled, so be it. Hammer time like that is a stupid thing to say, and he hasn't made any comment post Leicester because we're not even post Leicester.
No. Look, I've got the comment here. It's about Leicester. He said we've got the same.
It's not post Leicester, then, is it? Post Leicester's after.
It's a typo. It's typo. Yeah. He's made a few typos.
You had a drink, mate.
I'm just going to read it for you.
Go on, then.
For context. We've got the same points as them, so we must have done something okay in the league. They are playing well, so we need to do our best. So it's basically like, even though they lost like multiple games to the start of the season, they've just turned around. It's a very eyebrow raising. It's very. If we're
Yeah, go on. I'm listening.
It's very eyebrow raising comment. It's sort of like, what's he on about? Like, we must be doing something right because we're on the same points as Leicester.
Dan, do you know what? My screen just completely froze then, so I didn't. I know what he said though because I see it earlier, but I don't know what happened on my screen. I must have looked well funny if I was still.
Yeah,
on
no,
there.
I mean, no, you look. I didn't even notice. Well, I was looking at Nicky doing his headphones.
Everyone's screens went black, and then it just went off. So I don't know what happened there.
No, I was just saying, to me, it's a eyebrow raising comment to make because you're like, what do you mean we must be doing something right? We're clearly not. And Leicester have been shit, and they've only just started to turn it around. So I don't know what he's going on about.
I mean, Leicester, 3 or 4 weeks ago were bottom of the league, and then I see a lot of their fans saying Brendan Rodgers out. They stuck with the manager, and they've sort of got on a little run of form, and that's one thing that we haven't done this season is we've got a run of form going like consistently. Like where over the last couple of years we'd lose and then bounce straight back, but we're not doing that now. So
we've only beaten like poor teams in the league, teams that are down in the dump as well with our wins, which makes things worrying. So and some of those games we were lucky to win, to be honest. I mean, Bournemouth, Jesus. So we want to start to be able to beat teams that are.
I wouldn't say Bournemouth are down in the dumpers.
I mean, they're
Fulham. We beat Fulham as well, and they've had a good season.
Yeah, but at the time when we beat them, I don't think they were. And that one as well, we kind of got lucky with that one with the decision. The decisions went our way on that one. So I'm just saying there's nothing I can hold on to and go, yes, brilliant, here we go. Like,
no, I think the performances at Man United and Liverpool were encouraging, although we could have went for it a little bit more.
Yeah,
away from home, we could have quite easily. Especially Liverpool, we could have quite easily beat Liverpool.
I don't think the Liverpool performance is encouraging because it's more of the same. It's shit at the start for the first half. Go a goal down. Oh, right, let's switch it on. Here we go. So, and that's the issue. Even Villa, which we won, we were crap in the first half.
Chelsea, we were good.
Chelsea, we even started that slowly, to be honest, and then we had that spell, and then we got screwed. But
there is encouragement there, but as I say,
it needs to carry on, doesn't it?
We need consistency. We need consistent good performances. We need Moyes to find the answers. So, I think that if we lose the game tomorrow, he's going to give the owners a really, really tough 6 weeks to think about what they're doing.
Yeah, because if Kretinsky has. People say about Kretinsky, is he funded the transfer window? Has he put into it? I think Golden Sullivan might have a bit more patience, but he might be coming and knocking on the door and saying,
"Yeah,
what we doing
some more
here?"
Comments? Can you take some more comments for me?
We got Martin Peters. Obviously, not the Martin Peters. Maybe it is. I think it's the players.
Yeah, that'd be fucking worrying because he's been dead for about 3 years.
Oh yeah.
But go on.
I think it's the players not playing well. Not putting themselves out to wear West Ham badge on the shirt.
Yeah, it's possible.
I think I think even then it comes back to the manager. If players aren't playing well, then you've got to try and either motivate them or drop the ones that ain't playing well and put in other players. Like the buck stops there. You've got to get the team playing.
I don't honestly. I really don't know how a football player can't be motivated walking onto that pitch.
No, but the thing is, I think when you start to lose belief in what the manager's trying to do and their vision, I suppose it makes it hard to fully commit to what they want. If you're thinking he's steering us down the wrong path.
They should all be motivated, but unfortunately, it's the way of the world, isn't it? Some of them don't fucking think about anything else but themselves. So, but we'll see.
Cockney Buccaneers says Liverpool, Man U, Chelsea, Arsenal, Man City, all their fans expect to win and get what they want. We accept loss and thus will always be losers. So we got a loser's mentality.
I don't think we accept losses. It's just that them 4 teams you mentioned there are levels above where we are financially, and stability at the football clubs. So
this is a very interesting point. Darren Clarkson, Haller, Anderson, Vlasic, now Paqueta and Scamacca. Moyes does not seem to know how to get the best out of these top players.
Paqueta and Scamacca. Sorry, I was eating. Paqueta and Scamacca have only just got here. Do not judge them 10 games into a season.
No, but the thing is, I don't think he's judging them.
But wait a minute. Haller and Anderson did not fit the Premier League. They did not fit the Premier League. Vlasic, he failed at Everton. And he couldn't get the best out of him. He was a kid at Everton, yeah, but he didn't really get a chance.
But so what do we say if Paqueta and Scamacca, right? And again, it's way too early, but if they don't work out for West Ham, do we look at that and start to think, hang about, there's a pattern here? Or are we just...
I'll be honest, when I look at Scamacca, I don't see much difference between him and Haller, if I'm honest. I don't. And I think someone put a thing up the other day, side by side, game after game, and Haller had better stats and goals than Scamacca. I'm not saying Scamacca's a bad player. I like Scamacca. But I just think that, like with Anderson, he was obviously a Pellegrini sign and he had his moments, but Vlasic didn't really get a chance. Paqueta, I mean, people were writing Paqueta off after 2 games, saying he ain't good enough for West Ham.
He's Brazilian's number 10. I don't understand it. People are saying he's not good enough.
It's not just that they're writing him off. It's that players like him do take. I think before his injury, he was getting into the flow of things. He started to look really, really good.
You know
then
what?
he got injured.
Do you know what I think with Paqueta? What I think would suit him more is playing a little bit more deeper, so he can. Because I think where he's playing a little bit more further up top, he's got his back to the defenders. He's not really getting the time on the ball. Play him a little bit deeper, maybe in the middle, so he can control the game, see what's in front of him. And I think he'll make things happen. It's what he done for PSG. It's what he does for Brazil. And I think maybe dropping him in the centre, maybe playing in there with Rice and Souček or Downs, whoever he wants to play. Just let him look going forward. Let him see what he's got options. Because I think sometimes he plays with his back towards the game and it don't suit him.
Yeah, I think that's a fair shout. I mean, this is why, try, if things ain't working, try something else. And that's the problem. We keep banging his head against a brick wall and expecting it to crumble. But Black Country Hammer, personally, myself, I thank David Moyes for what he's done for the club. But in my opinion, he can't take us to the next level. Just my opinion, people. That's fair enough, man.
Yeah, no. And
just roll through him a little bit quicker than that.
And I sort of, just quickly on that, I sort of agree with that. And I think that maybe he has reached his level with West Ham. But when you're talking about next level managers, people are talking about Poch and Tuchel and that. For me, if I had a choice between them two, it'd be Tuchel. Because I think he'd be more committed to the project than what Poch would. Because I think Poch he'd go where money is. If someone bigger come calling, I think Tuchel would suit West Ham more. And I think Chelsea fans are gutted that he left. He was
That's what happens when you get new ownership, and Steve Roberts, think Moyes has a worse record than Pellegrini had after this many games in the season. He got sacked. How can we keep Moyes if we lose again Saturday? Would it make sense?
And the mad thing is, Pellegrini's last game was against Leicester at home.
Oh.
And I think
sorry, Moyes. I didn't want to chuck that in there, Moyes.
Yeah, I think there's definitely conversation to be had about Pellegrini. I think for sure. Stephen, Stefan.
Oh, Stephanie.
Stefan.
That's it. Let's just keep it there. Stephen.
Sorry, mate. I can't pronounce your surname. I couldn't even attempt it. But the players are not blameless, that's for sure. Especially in our Premier League matches, it's not all Moyes' fault.
Yeah, I think we all agree with that. I think it's
breed
all to blame, really. Players and manager.
Yeah, for sure. Gary WHUFC Burrows says different breed of fan now. Ryan will be up his arse if start winning. Basically agreeing with saying fans will be up his arse if they start.
Yeah, and the thing is, if we do go on a good run and we climb the table and everything's going well, I'm not going to sit there and start going to people. Told you. I'm not that sort of person. I ain't. Yeah. I ain't like that. And I think every West Ham fan wants David Moyes to do well. Of course they do. Why would you not want your manager to do well? But if it carries on, as I've said, if they sack him, then I have to back the club. I have to back I'll thank obviously everyone. I thank David Moyes. I don't want him to leave on bad terms, because I think he's done well for the football club in the 2 spells that he's been asked. Might be third time lucky in 3 years' time when he comes play again.
Get 2 trillion, and then he'll go to shit, and we'll come back to Moyes, and we'll go on another European tour. But Nats Jones says West Ham fans can be so fickle. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. I think he's talking about the stick he was getting right.
And that is always about it. It's about opinions at the end of the day. We've all got different opinions. No one's right, no one's wrong. It's what you feel.
Twitter is a poison chalice. Glad I don't use it anymore, to be honest. Yeah, I've been critical of Moyes, and people give me shit and fucking call me every name under the sun. But
the difference is with you, Dan, is if we start doing well, you'll start praising Moyes.
Yeah, that's what you just
got. That's what it's about. And then Nicky would be the same. And if we lose 5 games in a row, I might be calling for Moyes to get the sack.
How many times? Well, last season, this is another thing that people get to me about. People were calling me on Facebook saying I'm not true West Ham because I've said this, but last season I was relaxed. Season before I was relaxed, and what was I saying? I've got nothing to complain about. Even when we lost games, I've got nothing to complain about because we're doing well. We're going in the right direction. I'm not so fickle as if like I turn my opinion on and off to suit what happened that afternoon. I react to what I react to, and it takes a while. I think this shit has been building for a year, and he needs to sort it out quickly. And I said that's the beginning of the season.
Cause for concern, I think.
I'll tell you what, you boys have been spoiled.
Yeah,
we've been spoiled. We've all had a taste of what it could be like, and now we're back to being old West Ham. Bring back Avram Grant.
Frankie James says, I swear Areola was purposely diving the wrong way on every penalty. How easy did he make it for them Blackburn players? Look, that's all I got to see of the game was the fucking penalties. We did a watch along when you was talking about the game, it was the first time I was hearing about it. We did a watch along without being able to watch the game. We had about 20,000 people.
I can't believe that you didn't see the fucking game.
We came here expecting to watch it, and everyone's like, there's no stream. We're like, what? And so we're sitting there listeing to the radio behind us, trying to react to the game. And people
that might be nearly as bad as the time we tried to do a post-match pint of that European game that nobody saw.
Yeah. The
Lucian Tans, was it?
No, it weren't Lucian Tans. Oh, yeah, it might have been. It was the one when Sacco got sent off after about 2 minutes. It was the Maltese team, wasn't it?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah, talking about a game that you can't watch is really tough. We got to half time, was like, well, there's half time.
That was the famous "Who Bit My Burger."
Yeah.
I did see the penalties though, and I feel like, yes, should he do better? Yes, but saving penalties is not easy. And I know, look, he's gone the wrong way, but I thought Dom and some others were like overly harsh on Areola, really slating him.
I think he was a bit
blaming him.
20 penalties, 19 of them were fucking brilliant. There was all good penalties, apart from obviously Ogbona's. But
they criticised, Areola. The Blackburn keeper saved one. Well, he didn't even save one.
No, he didn't.
So it's the fucking same thing. Like it's a lottery penalties. Like you can't judge a goalkeeper. I see some geezer rattling on Facebook saying about Areola, about how fucking shit he is. How can you tell me he's better than Fabianski and all this? The only thing I would say about Areola is that I thought he was a bit too quick to commit to the side, like, and he got a bit over exuberant. But I'm not a fucking goalkeeper at the end of the day. You know what I mean? He's a fucking professional goalkeeper who's played for one of the top teams in the world. So what the fuck can I tell him about goalkeeping? Ask Jimmy Walker or someone like that what they thought about him and if they think he's a bad goalkeeper. I think Dom was very harsh on him.
He's not a bad goalkeeper. It's just
he's a good goalkeeper.
Penalty's a lottery, isn't it? It's a lottery.
You got to pick away. You got to pick away, and that's it.
That's just quickly. Thank you to Philip and Darren. It was Burkakara.
That's it. Yeah.
Yes.
Do you watch that overlap on YouTube? Jamie Carragher made a really good point about West Ham.
think he was on it.
You know what? I haven't watched it yet. I do watch the overlap, but I haven't watched it.
They haven't. I think that's an excellent channel, and I really do. And I have been on it once. They've never invited me back. I don't know why.
That's the last time I watched it was when you was on it.
But they speak absolute bollocks about the smaller clubs. They don't know what they're talking about. They started talking about a player the other day. They didn't even know his name for West Ham. And they're meant to be pundits for Sky Sports. They talk like. If you're
they
a fan
care
of
about the same 6 clubs, that's
they go there to get clicks out of Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Tottenham, Man United, Man City.
To be honest, the main reason I watch it is for Gary Neville's interview.
I think they're brilliant. I think the channel is excellent. I really do. I think it's an excellent channel, and I think they do really, really good work. But like when it comes to talking about West Ham and all that. To be honest with you, like sometimes I complain about them, not talking about them, but when I do hear them talk about them, sometimes I think, well, why don't you just shut up because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about? And
well, you can't win then.
No, you can't. No, you can't. No, because they start talking, but it just, you know, for somebody that gets paid, hundreds of £1,000s a year to talk about Premier League football, they don't know a lot about the other 14 clubs in the Premier League, and I think that's fucking atrocious, to be quite honest with you. But I don't, but. Then I don't think it's their fault because Sky tell them what to research, what they can do, what they should do. And that's why, I said this the other day when I watched Sky Sports, this is why I fucking hate watching it. Because when I'm watching a game like a West Ham versus Norwich or a Brighton versus Aston Villa, it feels like it's an extension of the Chelsea Man United game or the Arsenal, Man City game, with just some fucking more football chucked in the middle, and that's why I hate watching it. It's fucking atrocious.
They'll talk about them teams when they build up.
They'll go through every fucking run that Jesus has made and every fucking tackle that fucking Kai Havertz has made and all that sort of thing. And then halfway through, go, hold on a minute, we'll come back to Man United and Chelsea in a minute. West Ham are playing Brighton quickly. Just go over to them. And you know what I mean? And then they spend 10 minutes. What do you think about that game? Yeah, that was good. That was good. Well, let's go and have a look at Man United yesterday. You know what I mean? It's just atrocious. I think it's atrocious coverage for the rest of the Premier League clubs for a channel that's supposed to be covering the Premier League. It doesn't cover the Premier League. It covers the top 6. That's why I hope and pray that after this set of TV rights is done, they just go to a streaming service and then they have different channels for different teams, and you can just, if you want to watch West Ham versus fucking Burnley, you can go and watch West Ham and Burnley, and there's going to be someone talking about West Ham, there's going to be someone talking about Burnley, there's going to be someone talking about West Ham Burnley, there's going to be someone talking about West Ham Burnley after the game and all of that sort of stuff. Because
to be fair, mate, you can always tune into our channel and watch watch-alongs with Dan.
Absolutely. That's why the thing is, right, apart from
and Damo, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
The Arsenal fan TVs and the Redmen TVs, that's why we are, we exist. It's because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They don't know. They was talking about Flynn Downs. They didn't even know his name.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the point? He'll know every single Liverpool kid's name. He'll know every single Man City kid's name. He'll know every single Man United kid's name. Flynn Downs is one of our first team players. He don't know his name.
Yeah, exactly. And so watch our channel instead of watching the build-ups on the and the reviews on Sky. That's for sure. Chris H says, understand what you're saying, Ryan. We should always back the manager and the players, but the buck stops with the manager. He always has. Moyes needs to be accountable. That's his job. Yeah,
and I agree. It's like you can't sack a squad of 25 players, can you? So it's always going to come down to the manager at the end of the day.
Yeah. Jerry Crawford says, yeah, I agree. It's from both sides. I wanted Moyes out, but if Ryan wants him to stay, that's his opinion. This is going to be a transitional season. Absolutely no need to panic. Christ, we have at least 6 players to gel in the first 11. I need to address this transitional season. Chat, right? Because normally I would agree with you. But, right, when you look at it, it's not a case of we've sold a load of our key players who've been, big fixtures of the team for the last 2 seasons, and now we've had to replace them with new players, and they've got a gel. It's like Moyes slow burned the new signings anyway. We lost Fredericks and Noble. We didn't lose anyone really that was a key part of our first 11 last season. So I don't see where that transition is where they need to gel. Our players that have been good are now crap. They've gone backwards. So
I think it all went to pot when we let Yarmolenko go, to be honest.
Yeah, that's it.
Yarmolenko was, he held it all together for us last season. We need him back. Bring back Yarma.
Hold on. So Walker 11 says he sent a super chat. It didn't pop up on my feed. What did you say? I'll read it out because he says he wants to send another super chat, but you have an early one. Tell me what your original one said, and we'll read it out because
just send the normal one. We'll look out for you, but it didn't pop up.
It didn't pop up on the thing. We normally we read everyone that pops up.
Oh, we have missed one here actually. Wait, Walker, I found it. Let's get it. Oh. Sorry, because we was in the other bit getting all these. Right, here we go, Walker 11. Don't need to send another one. 440 now. Thank you very much, mate. Arteta, a former student of Moyes, has surpassed him within 3 years with a cup. Moyes 0 after 25 years of management for a reason. He is the nearly man. That's interesting. I mean, it's a harsh criticism, but not completely unfair.
The thing is, I say that Arteta obviously was a student under Guardiola. I know he obviously played for Moyes, but he learned his track management and coaching under Guardiola. And he took over an Arsenal team that dominates the FA Cup. And he took over and they beat Chelsea. I think it was 1-0 in the final.
You got to say, though, right, they look good this year, Arsenal.
Mate, listen, you can go back to my season predictions. And when I said surprise package of the season, I said Arsenal. I've been saying it. I've seen what Arsenal have been building. Obviously, I've got a good mate who's an Arsenal fan, and we always talk about football. And I could see what they was building at Arsenal, and I like Arteta. I think, and you can see and I got a lot more respect for him after watching that All or Nothing documentary. The way he treated Aubameyang, I think it was spot on. You can tell that he's worked under Guardiola. And they've got some good young players there. They've got some really good young players, and they are building something there. And I don't think they'll win the league. I said to my mate the other day, I think their downfall beers. I think they'll draw too many games. Why City are picking up 3 points. I said they're good enough to finish in the top 3, maybe even second. But I don't think they'll win the league.
They won't win the league. But
they've been a joy to watch. They've been a joy to watch. As much as I love watching West Ham, I love watching football as well. And I like watching Arsenal this season. As I said, I like that Martinelli. I think he's a talent. Saka, we know what he's all about. Hopefully, he has a good World Cup for England. And if it goes to penalties, Saka, just take your time. Take your time, Saka. But no. And obviously they signed Jesus, who added a bit of quality to him up front. So
we'll see if they maintain it.
They won't be that good when we batter them on Boxing Day. Those 3-0 at the Emirates.
If we do that, mate, I'm oh man.
Mate, if we beat Arsenal 3-0 at the Emirates on Boxing Day, give Moyes a contract for life.
Yeah, listen, mate. Put the contract on the table. Write down any numbers he wants on there.
Never sack him. Moyes is at the wheel.
He's at the wheel if we do that. So yeah. But Nicky, you want to read out this one? I think you put it up, did you?
Yeah. Do the players watch this channel? They should, just to see how pissed off we are.
I don't know.
I know some used to. I'm not sure whether they do now. Probably talk too much bollocks, to be honest.
I know Haller fans, not the players. Haller used to watch the channel, but he went off it for some reason.
Who?
Haller.
He unsubscribed.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I know that some used to. I know that I haven't heard for a long time if people do or whatever. But I know that some used to watch it. It must be difficult, especially when you're in and around like people and there's people that you like and all that, and it was you're sort of criticizing the performances of their mates, and it must grind you. You know what I mean? Like, David McNulty says Declan Rice was on Hammer's chat once. I know Declan Rice does watch the channel. Because he knows exactly who Dom is. So yeah, I know he watches it, but
Dom's infamous.
yeah.
The thing is, I mean, like, look, I know we criticise the players, but we only criticise them on what we've just seen. We don't. It's no personal vendettas against players. You know, we all want these players to do well. Of course, we do. Anyone that puts on the West Ham shirt, we want to do well. We want to win. We want to support them. And look, we know we're not going to win every game. We know that. But, you know, I think sometimes, you know, constructive criticism is good. I mean, sometimes some people may go over the top, you know, but it's opinions at the end of the day.
That's the thing. We try to be honest with how we really feel about things. And I think that's the only way to go. And as I said, obviously, this channel is for the fans. And look, if players watch it, it's brilliant. They're more than welcome. But, you know, if they get offended by, you know, what we say, we can't control that. Because we just
don't watch it.
Don't watch it. You know, that's the thing. We don't mean to offend or upset the players. We never tweet them. We never at them with criticisms or anything. I don't agree with that. Directly throwing criticism. So if they come this way, but if they're happy to listen and take it and whatever, then that's brilliant for them.
They should watch channels like this, because it gives you a feeling about what they're up against and what, you know, maybe not the players, so to speak, because we don't know what the fuck we're talking about. Let's be honest. Like, you know, you can give your opinion from the outside as a fan going in and all that sort of thing. But, you know, there are obviously some times when there is outside factors that affect things. Like, there could be something outside factor that could be affecting this. We don't know exactly what it is because we're not inside the camp. So like, if I'm turning around and going, oh, Moyes should play 2 up front, what the fuck do I know at the end of the day? But maybe not so much the players, but the ownership and the management should watch it to see what the fans' criticisms are and if there's anything that they could do to address it. I don't think that is what doesn't get done enough, is the fact that, you know, we can sit here and criticize the club and criticize the way they do things, and I know for a fact that they've got people scouring through the internet, looking at these channels and looking through the websites and looking through the forums and looking through all of this to see what they're moaning about. But instead of addressing them moaning, they spend most of their time trying to basically shut everyone up. So, you know, they should have a look if they want to get a true grasp of you know, what the fans, you know, nothing to do with football.
I think like when you say about like, what do we know? I think that's a bit. I don't think you have to play the game to know the game. I mean, I listen to Brian on fan cams, and I love listening to him because he talks. You know, he knows what he's talking about. You know, some people will go on there, you know, and they'll talk about something. They'll just rant about this, that, and the other. But, you know, I think fans, you know, I think one thing I've known from day one supporting West Ham is that West Ham fans don't hold back. They say it how it is. You know, they'll say it to the players' faces, to the managers, to the board. They will tell them to the faces. We've sat in meetings and told Brady exactly what we think. You don't hold back. Yeah. You know, that's one thing I've always... I can't speak for other fans of other clubs because I don't really know about them. But one thing I know about West Ham fans is that we don't hold back. We say how we feel.
Yeah, I think, like, you know, with anything, with films, I said this to Nigel today, you don't need to be a movie director to know what you didn't like about the film or why you thought the film was shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Top chef to know, you know, if the meal was too salty or under-seasoned or... And we're consumers of this sport, and we watch it enough. And I
think that's a lot of what the criticisms are about Moyes at the minute, and I think about Pellegrini and the last dockings of Bilic and all of that sort of thing, is that, you know, for as long as I remember, we've been a football playing team. We've been a football-based football playing team. You know, have we won fuck all? No, but we could play football. You know, we've always been a footballing side. Yeah,
since we were kids, that's all we've noticed, that West Ham, you want to be entertained. You want to be entertained. You've always had that one maverick in your team. Like, I wasn't around during the days of like Devonshire, Brooklyn. I was too young. But Di Canio, Payet, you know, you always had that one player. Even players like Berkovic, you used to be able to just turn it on like that. And that's what you used to turn up and watch. And I think that's one thing we're missing at the moment is someone like that. Someone just to get that ball. And I think we have got that player in the team, Benrahma. I think unleash him a little bit more, and I think he can do that. He plays off the crowd. He plays with confidence. You see him last week against Palace. You see him when he come on the other night against Blackburn. The crowd was singing his name. First thing he does, drops his shoulder, takes on 2 players. I think that we have got that in Benrahma.
I think that I think that is one of the reasons again why Moyes could end up losing the crowd, and he's losing the crowd at the moment because he's obviously got a problem with Benrahma. He's obviously got a problem with him. It's been obvious for the last couple of seasons. Has it always been justified? No, it hasn't always been justified, but it's been justified at times. But this season, there is no justification for it. And, you know, he's obviously got a problem with it. And he needs to get over that because at the moment, the crowd have swung the other way. They've you know, you see they was booing him for taking Benrahma off. They were chanting his name to come off the bench. And, like, it's... If you carry on just being a dick for the point of being a dick, then you're going to lose the battle because we're not playing well. You know, people weren't doing this when we was winning games and all of that sort of thing. You know, there was justification, but you know, when he's your best player and the only way that you've scored a goal and the only way that you look, you know, go back to the Palace game and then you're tugging him off after 60 minutes. Even though there's 4 or 5 players that play week in, week out, 90 minutes that, you know, should have come off. And then the crowd, you know, this is the thing about West Ham fans. We're not stupid. You know, we can see what's going on. And like, if the manager can't see that he was our best chance of creating chances, if the manager can't see that he was our best chance of scoring another goal, if the manager can't see all of these things, then, you know, the manager's struggling, you know, and it's either one or 2 things. He can't see it because he's a bad manager or he's just being petty. And I think he's just being petty, to be honest.
I agree.
Yeah, well, the thing is, Benrahma not starting the other day means that for me that he's going to be starting tomorrow and he has to start tomorrow. And I know we're talking about the Leicester game in a little while, but yeah, you're right. I agree. I think, you know, he can't be stubborn when you got a player like that.
Stubborn, that's the word I was looking for, right?
He's a talent, Benrahma, and I've always said it since day one. I think, you know, he got a bit of criticism. Sometimes, yeah, because he did go missing. But I think this season he looks like he wants to be on that pitch. He wants the ball. He doesn't shy away. That's one thing I like about Benrahma. People get frustrated with him when he's trying to take 2 or 3 players on, but at least he's doing it because no one else is. So... Anyway, should we answer this question that's been on the screen?
Yeah, I know.
What? Be careful with his name.
Let's mass debate. 449 super chat. Thank you. What's your thoughts on the true Geordie stuff? Love the show, lads. Thank you. Appreciate it. And right, we'll have a mass debate. So yeah, I mean that's mad. Obviously, we got a tiptoe on this one.
We'll have a match debate and we'll see who comes first.
Yeah, obviously, for those who don't know, True Geordie done a live stream the other day. And he was talking about Andrew Tate, who seemed to be converted to Islam. And he made insensitive jokes at his expense that were quite insensitive. He's trying to be edgy. True Geordie and all of that. And what he's done is said some stereotypical offensive things about that faith, which has got him in a lot of hot water. Sponsors have pulled out on him. He's been banned from Twitch. He done an apology video, which was, mate, it was rough.
Pathetic. It was pathetic.
I think he done another one today that I watched, and I said this to Nikki the other day. I said, the thing is, when you're in the social media world, whether you're on Twitter or YouTube, whatever, one tweet can change your life for the good or it can change it for the bad, you know, and you got to be so careful with what you do and what you say. And look, obviously I don't watch True Geordie. To be fair, I don't watch a lot of YouTube, but I see the video, I see the clip on obviously Twitter, and yeah, it is bad. I mean, I don't really know who this Andrew Tate is, so
I just don't know how he didn't like. Okay, you've said it, but then to go, oh, you know, because as soon as he said it, I was like, oh, like that. And how did it not after you've heard yourself say it go, oh shit? But he sort of doubled down on it, and you're like, fucking hell.
Yeah, the thing. See, I don't know him. I don't know him at all. I've met him once, and that was really briefly. Didn't really. I got the feeling he didn't really want to talk to me or anything like that. So. He sent us a few DMs before when we was trying to do a preview with Newcastle. Yeah, a long time ago. Yeah, and he just said basically nah. And
he wanted paying, didn't he?
Yeah, he wanted paying or something like that. But that's that's nothing to hate him over, because over the part I know Lawrence quite well, and I like their content, and I've been a big fan of their content over the last few years. But the thing about that is, I think with him at times, like this is just my opinion. As I said, I don't know him that well, but I know Lawrence a little bit. Is that I think they get so swept up in the social media world, and I know people that work for him, which is not good news for them. Some friends of mine work for him, and it's not good news for them, obviously, if he gets cancelled and his sponsorships are pulling out and all this sort of thing, because they could be looking for a new job. But hopefully he's been sensible with his money. But I'm pretty sure he hasn't, which is one of the problems. Is why he finds himself in such fucking hot water in a minute. But I think he gets swept up in this thing, and like with Andrew Tate, Andrew Tate's a dickhead, and everyone is sort of like. At the moment, it's sort of the trendy thing to hate this Andrew Tate. Yeah,
I don't even know who he is. Explain to me, what is he?
He's a
nothing.
Yeah,
he's some billionaire that says stupid fucking ridiculous things.
He used to be a fighter. He used to be a kickboxer.
Yeah, he used to be a MMA star, and he says, some sensible things and some fucking ridiculous things.
A lot to do with women and man's relationship with a woman.
And he's been cancelled, and he's been sort of like, he had all these accounts banned and all this. But the difference between him and the true Geordie is he's a billionaire. If they cancel him, he don't give a fuck. Like, he's still sitting on billions and billions of pounds. You know what I mean? Like, or a multi-millionaire at least. And he's still sitting on millions and millions and millions of pounds. So he doesn't give a fuck whether he's channel. Whereas like the true Geordie, and I think they get so swept up with trying to get clout. And True Geordie's done it before. When the Logan Paul done that thing with the thing in the forest, he jumped on that. It's got fuck all to do with him. What Logan Paul? He don't even fucking know Logan Paul.
That's the problem. Where he tried to become YouTube's moral compass and point the finger and all of that.
Yeah, so he's sitting there fucking criticising Logan Paul. And what happened in that situation is Logan Paul's one of the biggest stars on the internet, and Logan Paul ended up befriending him over it. They ended up making up, and Logan Paul's one of his friends. And he got a lot of clout out of that, and he made a career out of that. And he's trying to do the same thing with this Andrew Tate. He's trying to take the moral compass and insult this Andrew Tate, because it's the trendy thing to do. Everyone's, everyone hates Andrew Tate, right? They hate him. That's a trendy thing to do. And he tried to insult him, and trying to insult him and being a dickhead about him, it's come back to bite him on the arse, because he's ended up insulting a whole faith. Like, and that sort of thing, it shouldn't even be joked about. It shouldn't be joked about. None of that sort of stuff should be joked about.
I said to you the other week, didn't I, about True Geordie? I see his interview with Tyson Fury, and he was being a bit of a prick in that, to be fair, and Fury called him out on it. I've always said that I've never really... Listen, I don't know True Geordie. He might be different off camera, but from what I see of him, I feel that sometimes he's a bit intimidating and he likes to bully people because he's quite a big bloke, but
he's big.
Yeah, what he said was wrong, and that's what I'm saying. One silly mistake, and I know it's not his first time he's done something like that, because people have been pulling up loads of different videos of things that he said, racist remarks. So
the thing is, why I don't think it's a mistake. I think it's this mask slipping, and like with with the guy next to him, Lawrence, who I know Lawrence a little bit. His wife and kids are Muslim, and how he can sit next to a geezer morally and listen to him say that about, like, if he was that, if my wife and son was Muslim and you sat there and said that, right, stream or not, mate, I'd say, hold on a minute, hold your fucking horses. Who the fuck do you think you do it? What the fuck do you think you're talking about?
I think he did try to do that, but he tried keeping it sort of.
He's probably scared of him.
It's not scared. It must have been hard. It must be hard at that time because you're probably trying to digest. Did he actually fucking say that as you lie?
I think he did know he says it, but I think with him, I think he tries to protect the brand as well.
Yeah, he was just throwing out the not all Muslims, not all, and it's just like, yeah, he's in that as well. But look, it's a massive lesson that he needs to learn now, and he's going to go through some tough times now. And who knows if he?
Yeah, sponsors have been dropping him left, right, and centre. So
yeah.
Look, we all say things, we all make mistakes in life, and should he have his livelihood and that taken away from him? I see the video that he said earlier, and whether he means it or not, he was saying that he's going to work more closely with the Muslim community to learn more about it, and whether he's just saying that because of what's happened. If he does, then look, everyone should get a chance to sort of rebuild, and if he's apologising, but look, yeah, you shouldn't say things like
that's textbook 101. You offend a community, what you do is you donate money with them, or you do some charity for them, and then it's all forgiven.
But then, if he learns a lesson and doesn't do it again, then he's learned a lesson.
It needs to be a humbling for him to be.
He's got his tail between his legs. He's trying to save his career, and he's got a right to do that, of course. And it's going to end up, getting some.
I've seen many people since I've been doing YouTube change. I've seen it with my own two eyes. I've seen people from other channels, West Ham. I've seen other channels that we've worked with. I've seen the way they act now. They walk around like they're celebrities. Listen, you got to remember who you are, where you're from. I might do this on a Friday night and stay behind up, but I still go work Monday to Friday. I still got my family to support. I don't think I'm any better than anyone. I get offered fit, I turn it down. I said to you the other day, didn't I? I get offered something. I don't want it. I don't ever want to be in someone's back pocket. I never want to do it. I don't need it. I'd rather sit in block 229 with my friends, my wife, and my mates, and enjoy myself than pretend I'm something that I'm not. That's the way I am.
It's one of those things.
Just one more final word on that.
Hang on. My butler's ringing me.
YouTube is a funny place, man, because you can, you do this properly and commit yourself to it. You can make a lot of money and get very famous from it. And there's a lot of people like the True Geordie that has done that. They've got a lot of money and they've got a bit of fame and all that. And you see how many of these people, I think, his career's not over, because I think there's a guy called PewDiePie who's massive. He's huge in the online community, and he said fucking worse things than that. And he's still big, and I think he's one of the only ones with 100 million plus subscribers. So his career is definitely not over. But I think with these sort of celebrities, some of these are mega stars. People like KSI is a mega star.
Well, look, DT's come out of prison and, he's resumed his channel,
Yeah. Well, don't even get me started on that. But, it's the problem is like when you've got like people that are, going into TV and radio and films and all that sort of thing, they have people guiding them and telling them, what to say, what not to say, where to go, where not to go, and all that. And sometimes on YouTube, where they rise up so quickly, no, most of them have now, but where they rise up so quickly, they haven't got that sort of guidance, and they fucking go mental.
It can go to your head. It can go to your head. And there's one person that I'll say now that I've seen go from not saying nothing, but doing his own channel and go right to the top, but he's still the same person all the way through, and that's Expressions. Expressions is one of my favourite YouTubers. I love watching. I know he's a Tottenham fan, and that's his only downfall. But I love watching him. He cracks me up, and I see him on a show. He's on a show. I see it on his Instagram on Channel 4. You know, he's been on Sky Sports, he's been on all these things, but he's still the same person.
Exactly.
He's still the same. He doesn't think that he's better than anyone. He's not. He's still that expressions that we knew from when he had a few thousand subscribers, and now he's got over hundreds of thousands of subscribers. And even when he goes on Robbie's channel and he has a little bit of banter on that, he goes on Channel 4. He's the same person on Channel 4 that he is if we see him at an awards thing.
You know, he sent me a message off his own back when we done the video with the We Are Tottenham TV boys, yeah, and because there was a lot of, and he knew about it as well, and I told him about it, about there was no love lost between us, and there was a little bit of like animosity, and there has been for years, and why are you laughing?
No, because I'm just reading that one, that Jay Brooks, he loves X when he said end the stream, Dave. When he done that when they had Tottenham, and he went, "No, end the stream, Dave."
And he sent me a message of his own back when we done it, and I probably still got it. And he's like, "I'm so glad that you buried the hatchet with them. I always said they was nice boys. I hated it to see like you guys, because I love you guys, but I love them guys, and I hated it when there was beef between." And he sent me that message of his own. He ain't got to get involved in none of that. It's bigger than both us combined, But he was like, he watched that content and he was like, "I'm so glad that you buried the hatchet, blah, blah, blah," and all of that sort of thing. You know what I mean? And that's why he's genuine. And that's what makes people genuine. I think that's what makes people genuine, that they take an absolute interest in what's going on around them. And that's what you got to do. You got to, you got to, have a look what's going on around you. There you go.
There you go. Springer's final thought there on that. And Walker with another super chat. Walker 11 449.
Springer's final thought, you saucy bastard. I'll slap that.
We just needed the music, the soft music.
Take care of yourselves and each other.
More so the point, Arteta has adapted to modern football. Arsenal play free-flowing and press. We don't. We play like a 1990s first division team. Yeah, like I said, I'm not a big fan of the way we're playing. And I said, not just the results, but just the football's turgid. Red 5, 449 super chat.
Red 5.
My OCD, it's driving me mad on this, right? And I know everyone knows, but it's like the way StreamYard does it, 449. It's not 450. It's not £4. Not even 425. 449. That's such an annoying figure. But cheers, mate. Is Kehrer a decent player who's been fortunate, or is my opinion a fucking liability or as in my opinion, a fucking liability with moments of quality mixed in? I thought he was saying, or is my opinion a fucking liability? I was going to agree there, mate.
I think he's mixed in his career, because I think he's good, but he's got mistakes in him. So I think the second part of that is right. He's not a liability, but he has his moments. But he has. I'm not going to say that it was his fault for that goal last week, because Dawson, whatever people say, that was fucking whipped at him.
I'm not being funny, right? And I know Dom said it was his fault. If you play football, that's not his fault.
Yeah, no,
that's it.
But I think
and even the Zuma, the penalty. Remember the penalty giveaway? I didn't give much blame for that. It was Zuma who let the geezer through, and he made a decision. So I think it's harsh. He's been unfortunate to be on the end of these mistakes. I think
I do look at him sometimes when he makes mistakes, and I think now I know why PSG fans were happy to get rid of him for 12 million. But you can see he's a German international. He's going to the World Cup. Look, the Premier League is different. Yeah, I like him as well. I think the Premier League's totally different to French football, so it's a lot more fast paced, a lot more physical. I think he's got all the attributes to be a top defender for us. And but I do see what people say about him. Like he's mixed.
He makes mistakes, and he makes at least one a game at the moment, but he's got all the qualities to be a top player. Like I could see everything in him. Like when he first came in, he looked like Ferdinand, and he's rash. Does he make the right decision all the time? No, but he's got all the qualities to be a top player. It's just if we can get that, their mistakes out of him. If we can get them out of him, we've got a good player. Unfortunately, PSG have got rid of him. So they
Someone's just called him a shit Titus Bramble. Fucking hell, you got to be bad if you're a shit Titus Bramble.
Yeah, I think he's got a lot of good qualities. He's been moved around positions from centre back to right back, centre back, so he hasn't really got a position he can call his own.
The worrying thing is that as a centre half, being deployed as right back in front of two, proper right backs just tells you how good our fucking right backs are.
Yeah, I mean, actually, he does play. He has been playing there for Germany. He played right back for Germany against England. So I think after his performance for Germany against England, which he was one of the best players on the pitch, that's one of the few England friendly.
Do you know what? This might not even be the fucking worst idea in the world.
Why not?
Could easily be converted to a midfielder. Easily. The same as I said Ferdinand could have been.
I said that the other week.
Yeah.
We've had some of these super chats. We've had, no, not super chats. Comments starred for an hour now. We better get to.
we ain't even gotten about Bowen yet, not in the World Cup.
Yeah, let's get onto that. We'll have to scrap some of these comments for the minute.
Well, let's just read them without giving a dissertation on them after each one. It's not about losing games. Every side goes through bad spells. It's how we lose. We make sides like Palace seem like Real Madrid. Agreed. You ain't making top 7 this season, regardless. So I think you're better off keeping him till next season and going from there, says Jade, the Spurs fan.
Yeah, I think that's from the Spurs fan. I think that's a fair assessment. Newcastle have leaps and bounds this season.
Yeah, Eddie
well
Howe's looking like a good, really good appointment. Neil from Down Under says Moyes' biggest problem is he hasn't got the guts to play positive football and go for a win. His only game plan seems to play negative football, try not to lose. Someone agrees with Nicky for a change. But Cockney Buccaneer agree with Nicky. Moyes ain't adventurous enough. Moyes out, Poch in. If you were good at your job last year and you were shit this year, would your boss be happy? That's a good point.
I'll probably get a pay rise.
Walker 11 with another super chat. Cheers, mate. 179 super chat. 12 million for Chelsea's 9th choice left back was silly. Apparently, again, I didn't get to see the game. Apparently, he had a decent game the other night.
I thought it was all right.
Yeah, he done all right. He got up and down. Put in a few good balls, linked up well. I think he's just another one that maybe needs a little run in the team to see what he can do.
Cheers, Roy, good old Roy May Jr. Retired now. Hopefully you're enjoying the retirement, mate. $15.42 for a number there. Cheers to Dan's OCD, and cheers to all my fellow vets out there. Happy Veterans and Armistice Day. Beers,
it's the 11th
Day
of November,
to you, mate.
so.
Obviously,
I've got my poppy on.
Roy served in the United States Army, so that's how they do it, didn't they? They do it like that. I don't know if I'm allowed to do it though.
No, probably shouldn't do anything.
Have that. Have one of them, Roy, and a few beers for us. I see Paulie Walnuts was like, he's got OCD, but his room's a mess. How can you see my room? I've got a beautiful depth of field, blurry background.
That's why he knows, because you blurred it out.
I think Roy, mate. I think Paulie Walnuts is one of my families in burner account. So there we go. Let
me answer this, because this is going to take us on to the next subject. How the fuck is Bowen not going on the plane? Because he hasn't been good enough.
No.
Simple as that. Like, if anyone thinks that Bowen should be on the plane to the World Cup next week, has really and truly got claret and blue tinted glasses on. He should be nowhere near it.
He's played himself out of the squad, which is a shame. It's a shame, because it'd have been nice to have another player representing England from West Ham. Obviously, we've got Declan Rice there, but it's his own fault. He's been bad. He's been poor this season. As I said, he's played himself out of the World Cup squad, which is a shame, because every young boy's dream is to play for your country at a World Cup. I mean, you've seen I retweeted what's it, Mason Mount's tweet yesterday. It was a picture of him as a kid in an England shirt saying that he dreamed the plan. Now he gets to go and do it. And, it must be such a feeling. I mean, we would never know what that feels like. It don't matter what you represent your country in what sport, to wear your country shirt must be one of the proudest moments of anyone's life. But to go to a World Cup, it's amazing. And unfortunately, Bowen won't be involved, but that's his own fault.
Yeah, I see someone say, oh, well, Bowen was great last season and other out-of-form players have been called up. But the problem is he hasn't established himself in that England side. He hasn't gone and played for England and had, Nicky's gone, like amazing performances to establish himself, to know that where Southgate knows he can trust him, even though he's not doing it in the league. And that's the problem. Whereas some of those players, even though, Maguire, for instance, might be putting up trees for Man United, but when Maguire plays for Southgate and he's had good performances for Southgate, he knows he can trust him. And there's a lot of players like that who are
It's a bit like the argument with Calvin Phillips, like saying he hasn't played a lot of football, but Calvin Phillips, he does well. He's done well for Southgate in England. So, and Maguire's the same. Like, he gets a lot of stick, and rightly so. But when he plays for England, he's a different player. So, I am gutted for Bowen. As I said, I'd love to have seen him there, but he's just not been good enough, unfortunately. There's a lot of players that have missed out. Ivan Toney, I think, should have been there. I think he would have been a better option. I'm not saying Callum Wilson hasn't done anything not to deserve to be there, but I just think Ivan Toney's. But then again, I said to Nicky yesterday, maybe it's because he's got this investigation over his head with a betting thing.
Yeah.
Might have maybe put Southgate off, but Tomori, who plays for obviously Milan, he's been playing well. James Ward-Prowse missed out, but has he done enough to get in there? I don't know.
I think that Bowen needs to use this as an opportunity, put in some extra time on the training pitch over this 6 weeks, put your head down and just try and get back to what you were last season.
Sancho missed out. But then again, listen, they can still get called up if there's anyone gets injured. So you never know what happens. This is why I think it's stupid that there are around the Premier League games this weekend. Last weekend should have been the last round, because the World Cup, England's first game is not this Monday, the Monday after. So
the thing is, so I saw someone suggest this, right? And they've said that the reason Moyes hasn't dropped Bowen is to give Bowen as much game time to get him, to have him basically be an option for England, to get him playing so he can play him, so he can get called up for England. He's doing him a favour, basically. So playing him, not wanting to drop him to hurt his chances for an England call up, basically, which is mad, because I can understand wanting to do that for that player, but West Ham come first. So if that is the case, I don't agree with it at all. I don't know what you think about that, right?
Yeah, no, I agree. And someone's just said there, Bowen not going might be a blessing in disguise. It might be, because it might just give him that kick up the arse now, as you said, to think, I want to be part of the next squad for England. I want to get back into that squad, because he's had a taste of it now. So he just needs to find that bit of form again, because he has been one of the players that have let the team down and let Moyes down this season. He hasn't been playing well, and it's his own fault why he's not getting on that plane.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Massive shout out to Lee, by the way. Thanks for joining us. So that was Steve WHU Bell says, "Are you boys doing England watch-alongs?" That has been discussed. My favourite moment, you can see it on YouTube on our channel, was when we was in the pub and I set the camera up and we was watching the penalties. Do you remember?
Colombia. Yeah, the reason why I like that video, because no one knew you set the camera up, so it is just raw emotion. And when we beat Colombia on penalties, it was a good tournament.
All sorts of random people, and that bloke going with the two teeth.
And then you just see them two random people sitting at the bar that ain't even there for the football. They're like on their first date or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's a good video if you can go and find it on our channel, reacting to the penalty shootout. So yeah, I don't know where Nicky's gone, but where was that? question. We got bloody Walker and another 449 super chat. 11 cheers once again, Walker. Will Paqueta be affected by playing actual football with Brazil in World Cup and realizing what he's missing out on?
Yeah, he'll be thinking to himself, what's all this space I've got?
Yeah.
I've got the ball on my feet. Yeah, no. But you watch when he plays for Brazil, he plays a lot deeper and he can control the game. And that's what I was sort of getting at earlier. That I like to see him maybe play a bit more central, like in midfield, and so he can control the game and have a look up and see what he can do.
Yeah, I'm excited to actually see him play. I don't watch too many friendlies and that, so I'm excited to watch him and
put this one up. Too many England fans are underestimating the other teams in the group. I agree with that. I don't think it's as cut and dry as people are making it out to be, and it is England at the end of the day. But I do agree with that comment.
No, yeah, USA and Wales are obviously going to be tough games. I mean, Iran's going to be difficult because we always seem to struggle on opening games, don't we? So yeah, it's look, these teams are there on merit. You know, they're not there for the sake of it to make up numbers. So they could cause England, but I think England should get out of the group.
Do you know what? I can see, and Roy and some of the other people in the chat will like this, but I can see an upset against America. I can really see it. It's got one written all over it, you know.
Why Brazil favourites? Who have they got? Richarlison, Neymar. They're a well-rounded team. They're a well-rounded team, and like they've got the flair, they've got, you know, and they've got skill. And when you look at the Brazil squad to the past, when they have won the World Cup, apart from having the likes of Ronaldo and Rivaldo and players like that, they've had a bit of skill in the middle as well, like Dunga and people like that. And they've got that. They've got that in Casemiro. They've even got it in Paqueta. So yeah, that's why they are. Yeah, you know, Thiago Silva. I don't know whether he still plays, but you know, defensively they're pretty tidy.
Good balance, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Thiago Silva, that's that 6'2" midget you was talking about.
Yeah. But you know what? I kind of understand what Nicky's saying because he looks like he's short, doesn't he? Like he's deceptively big. Yeah. He's something about him. So I see where Nicky's coming from.
It's gonna be and it might be a welcome distraction for us as West Ham fans to have that World Cup to look forward to. And it's gonna be weird, like watching it in the winter. We've never experienced anything like this before. So
knowing our luck, all our players that are playing it end up getting bloody injured.
I was watching a thing the other day about the World Cup. Have you seen that stadium that's built out of containers? They can literally take it down and move it like Lego.
Like an
it's built out of like old containers. It's impressive, like, but obviously,
look, the four bastards that have to move it.
Yeah. But I wouldn't want to put that back together.
I put this comment up because this is a good transition, I suppose, from old Dubster. The Leicester fan says, love to hear the preview of tomorrow's game. I'm excited and ready for it. First time of the season, I'm going confident, going into a game confident of my team winning. And that says it all, doesn't it? That says it all.
I suppose I said it the other day. If Blackburn could have picked any Premier League team to play, it probably would have been us at the moment because we're so low on confidence. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Two teams that are going to, well, I say two teams that are going to go for it, but Leicester definitely will. You know, I watched them last week against Everton. I was impressed with them. I was impressed with Maddison. I'm hoping that it's not going to be a game where Maddison and Rice don't get stuck in because of obviously the World Cup. You know, they don't want to get injured. So, but yeah, look, they got Tillemans, Barnes. Tillemans scored a great goal last week as well. So.
We're going to do a video. I'm researching a video at the moment, and we're going to be doing like content throughout the World Cup, like, you know, catching up with West Ham players that are involved in the World Cup. I just need to go through every team to see who's got in it. I haven't really been up to speed yet.
Fornals ain't in the Spain squad, so you ain't got to worry about that.
What about Zuma? Did he get in the France squad?
Areola did.
Areola did. I don't think Zuma did.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have.
I'm gonna goalkeeper Areola only got called up to the France squad.
Paqueta, Declan Rice. But yeah, no, look, it's going to be an interesting game tomorrow. It's a game that we need to win. We've got to win. So pressure's on from the start.
But, I think Tielemans and Maddison, I think they seem to be out of form, and it seemed to centre around the time of the transfer window. And I think now they've seemed to have got their head down and got back to form. And I think that's what's made the difference for them, is them two players ticking again. And we're going to have to worry about it.
And that could be the same for us. Two players find a bit of form can completely change it. Like, say, for instance, I don't know, say Bowen tomorrow fucking has the game of his fucking life and he ends up getting 2 goals and we win 2-0. You know, it's something like that. It's one moment. But then, look, I'm not taking Leicester for granted. I don't take any team for granted in the Premier League.
No, I think they're the favourite right now. I think they're the favourites to win it.
They're confident. They're going into it confident. As Moyes said, we're level on points. So it's going to be a tough game. It just depends how Leicester start. Leicester start quick.
If we go a goal down, mate.
Yeah, a bit like what Blackburn. If I was Brendan Rodgers, I'll be saying, get stuck in early, try to get that early goal, get the crowd on their back. But I'm not Brendan Rodgers. I'm saying, yeah.
Fuck off, yes.
Fuck off, Leicester. No, joking.
Yeah. It's going to be such a tough game, man. And a point is not good enough for me. I'm not going to. I don't want to respect the point.
If Moyes changes it up tomorrow, changes the formation a bit, mixes it up a bit, and we get a point, you turn around and you think, right, Moyes has changed it. Leicester.
Yeah, if we play good football and get
a point, not a bad point. But I think if we sit back and invite Leicester on, I think with what they've got, I haven't seen if anyone's out for them tomorrow, but I take it that Maddison, Barnes, Tillemans, the Daka, I think has been playing up front for them lately. I think if you give them space and time, they're going to punish us. So we have to be on it tomorrow. We have to be on it, and players need to turn up. If Souček starts tomorrow, he's got to fucking give the game of his life before this break. They all have to treat this as, like, I know it's silly to say, but it's that old saying, cup final. Treat it like a cup final. Fucking go out there, give us something like they must, as you said, the fans must see, the players must see how the fans are feeling. Just go out there, just give us that performance. If you go out there, if West Ham give it all, and we, even if we lose, but we give everything, we've tried. You can only hold your hands up and say, okay, Leicester were the better team.
The thing is, I like the fact that you go into this game and everyone's sort of confident about Leicester because, like, whether people want to admit it or not, we've got some good players that can do damage. And, like, sometimes when the pressure isn't on you and everyone's expecting you to lose, that's when you get your best performances. But it's down to Moyes. He's got to be positive tomorrow. I don't think he can go into it, sitting back and, trying to soak up the pressure from Leicester because they've got too much quality. Tillemans is a good striker of the ball. He can hit one from a distance. And then you've got the people like Maddison and Harvey Barnes that can fucking rip you to pieces.
Yeah,
I think we're set up with the same team as we did against Palace with one change. And I think that might be Aguerd coming in for Dawson.
No, I don't think Aguerd should play.
I think he should.
No, I don't think he should.
I think he's had enough game time now. I think you just got to chuck him in before the World Cup. Just chuck him in.
I think that second Blackburn goal the other day was his fault. He was on he didn't stick to his position. He went fucking rushing in. I don't know why he did that, to be honest.
I think with Dawson's performance against Palace last week,
it was bad as well.
I mean, he might stick with Dawson. If he does, then that's what it is. But
the big question is, what about Souček? Will he?
Yeah, I was about to say the only other change I would like to see is maybe Dan's coming in for Souček, but.
This could be the first time.
No, he left Souček out. He left Souček out though in the cup game. He's definitely planning to start.
I mean, it's interesting because he actually subbed him off during, and we don't see that with Souček. He don't sub Souček off, and that's what made me wonder. Like, okay, could this be it? Are we finally going to see Souček? Because if he just sticks to the same old, what's the point? Bowen on the right, Souček in the middle.
But the thing is, as we said. Something's not right at the moment. Something needs to click. He could start with the same team tomorrow and something could click. Something could click and we could go out there and play, because as we said, they're not bad football players. We know they're decent. Like on his day, Souček can cause havoc, but he hasn't been doing that lately. I'd like to see it a little bit changed. Maybe even bringing Antonio and Scamacca in together. Change it up a bit. But I think we're still set up the same way we did against Palace and if they do, then players need to step up.
Yeah, it could be a long night. I tell you, mate. The atmosphere. It's going to be a tough one tomorrow.
To be fair, last few couple of home games against Leicester, we've done well. Like last season we beat them 4-0 or 4-1. Season before that, we beat them home and away. You know, we took 4 points off of them last season, so we're on a good run of form against Leicester. But yeah, it's going to be a difficult game. But listen, if you offer me a 1-0 win now and a last-minute winner, I'll take it.
Yeah, but yeah, we've got to get something. I don't think it's a 6-pointer, Steve. Well, I mean, we're both on the same points, but yeah, I don't think we're in a relegation battle to class it. But yeah, it's tough. Lemoyes, it's a big. That team selection is huge for him tomorrow, man. A lot of eyes are going to be on that and what he puts out, and then we just got to see what the players do once they cross that line, mate.
This is what I agree. I agree with this personally. You have to start Fornals for me. I think that's the change that needs to be made.
Yeah.
I think
I was thinking that maybe Fornals coming in for someone like Bowen. But that one thing as well, we need to one thing I would say with starting Souček tomorrow is where I think we can get at them is at the back. If we get them corners right, because their goalkeepers all over the place.
Yeah,
they've got one. Their goalkeeper Ward, I think his name is. He hasn't had a great season.
Yeah.
He makes
they've had five clean sheets out of the last 6.
But we got to be able to deliver it, though. That's the problem. Even like I was hearing on the radio last night, our last corner we had at the game, we overhit it and missed everyone. Our corners have been so shit that even you can have Zuma, Dawson, Souček in the box. We're just not going to do anything with it because we can't.
What I'm saying. If you get them right, you get them like what we did last season and the season before. You know, we get our set pieces right, we can cause damage.
I don't know why they've gone so wrong. I don't know why they're so bad now. It's mad. It's such a crazy drop-off for a team that was so good at them and one of the best in the league for scoring from set pieces. We just either don't beat the first man, play it straight to the keeper's hands, or just miss everyone. It's mad. It's madness. But yeah, Fornals definitely got to play him. Play him maybe in the 10, Paqueta next to Rice, like Chaz says. Benrahma on the left. I'd play Antonio on the right wing, and then Scamacca up top.
I would go right. This would be my team. I'd go with Fabianski, Emerson, Dawson, Zuma, Johnson, Rice, Paqueta, Benrahma, Fornals, Antonio, and Scamacca.
I agree with that, but I might take Johnson out for Kehrer or Suf. I think Johnson, I love him, but he's been a bit shaky there. But yeah, I pretty much agree with that team. Yeah. I think that's
we'll all be sitting there at 2:00 tomorrow, refreshing our Twitter pages, waiting for the team news to come out.
Yeah, and going. But the thing is, with them, there'll be something in there that we're like, oh yeah, fucking brilliant, easy. And then you look at the other thing, you're like, oh for fuck, like it's usually like that with lately with the lineups. Like there's something on it that you're like, oh fucking brilliant, or Flynn Downs is in, or Fornals is back, and then it'll be like, oh, but fucking he's dropped Benrahma. Oh, he's fucking Souček still in there. So that's usually how it goes. We'll see. We'll see if we get excited for the game. But yeah, man, we just got to go there. Atmosphere's been shit all season, but hopefully we can get up for this one.
Yeah, it's a sellout tomorrow. Sellout tomorrow. Last game before the World Cup. Yeah. Last time people are going to be seeing each other for nearly 6 weeks. So I think the atmosphere will be different over there tomorrow. I think there'll be a lot of people getting on it early tomorrow, drinking wise. So there should be a good atmosphere in the ground. And listen, the players can add to that. The players, if they get stuck in early goal, anything, a tackle, whatever, just give the crowd something to get behind straight away, and you know we could get them 3 points tomorrow.
Yeah, that's it. Start on the front foot, mate. Couldn't say it better myself. Yeah.
Should we wrap it up there?
Yeah, I think that's a good place.
Yeah. I want to have a shower. I'm going to have a nice lay-in tomorrow morning. I ain't had a lay-in for ages.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for joining us on this edition of West Ham Fan TV's Friday Night Pint. Thank you so much for getting involved. All the comments have been fantastic as per usual, and we're building a really nice community here. Go and check out our store if you haven't checked that out for a while. There's some T-shirts on there if you want to go and check them out. Link is in the description down below.
I'll have to go do that now because StreamYard don't just have your descriptions that you always have on default.
But the link will be in the description down below if you want to check them out. And obviously, Christmas is coming, and we're not going to be having any West Ham games until Christmas. So you can get the Christmas jumpers again that are up on the store. So go and grab them while you can. The Patreon is going to continue. The podcast is going to continue over the World Cup. So please, subscribe to that. We're going to be trying to get some guests in for the World Cup for the podcast as well. Have little segments with little guests in for the World Cup while we're doing that. And yeah, if you can't afford to do any of that, just your support is always greatly appreciated on here. And as long as you've liked, subscribed, and shared the video, you're doing enough for us. But thank you very much for joining us. One thing left to say: come on, you Lions.